Hello, I'm Lucy and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the beginning of a new cruise series, but one that we're starting very differently as I should have boarded my cruise ship 7 hours ago. I was due to embark Ambassador Ambience at Tilbury Cruise Terminal in Essex for a 5-night Christmas market cruise to Hamburg and Amsterdam. However, due to Storm Darragh, that has been not successful so far. Ambience should have docked at Tilbury at 3:30 this morning, however, it's just coming up to 10 o'clock this evening and she is finally docking. So because of the high winds, it was very unsafe for the pilot to board and then navigate Ambience down the Thames into Tilbury Cruise Terminal. And because it was unsafe, Ambience had to sit around and wait for a few hours and eventually went to Dover to pick up a pilot there and has since come into Tilbury. Ambassador has been very good with communication with his passengers both on board and off board, and we've been given email updates with new embarkation times, which for me is 1:15 in the morning. But I'm not going to moan because I am going on a cruise. I'm very excited. Obviously it's a little bit gutting that we've lost a couple of hours, but it's not the end of the world. I'm not sure what the itinerary changes are yet, so I'll keep you updated. But as always, you're going to come along with us and experience everything as I see it. If you've booked parking at the cruise terminal with your booking, then when you pull into the car park, you will queue in lanes to drop off your luggage. Your luggage will then be taken onto the ship and you will next see it outside your cabin door. Just a note, before you drop off your cases, make sure you have your luggage tag printed and attached so they can be delivered to your cabin. I use these plastic tag holders that I just got from Amazon to protect the tag so it doesn't get ripped off in transit. I will say this does look a bit chaotic, but I think most people are turning up at the same time, and there are still cars in the car park from people who have not yet disembarked. So a lot of what you're about to see will look very busy, but this is not the norm. Across the road. And if you're getting a taxi here or getting dropped off, then this is where you'll get dropped off. And I'm assuming the luggage will go over there. But that looks like the entrance to the cruise terminal over there. So that's where we're going to go. So now inside the cruise terminal, we've got our boarding pass and passport for check-in. You will then go through an airport-like security area. Again, this will all look very busy, but from entering the terminal to walking onto the ship, it took roughly 30 minutes. And considering the amount of people you can see, this is actually quite impressive. After security is the check-in area. They were only letting passengers check in when it was their designated embarkation time. And if you were early, then there were plenty of seats available. The next queue was to receive our cruise cards. You'll need to keep this with you at all times as it's the key to your cabin, your ID to get on and off the ship, and also how you pay for things on board. When you embark Ambience, you enter straight into the lower deck of the atrium, which is called Centre Court. We were greeted by a huge Christmas tree and so many beautiful decorations. We weren't really sure what to do, so we headed up to SW19 on deck 7, which is the highest deck of the atrium. It was very busy up here, but still managed to find a table that all 7 of us could sit round and order to drink. When we booked this cruise the year before, Ambassador had a deal which included the Explorer's drink package, so this is what we have on this cruise. The drinks menu is the same in all bars, with the exception of the Botanical Lounge, which I'll show you another time. We headed for the buffet as there was an announcement that this would be closing at 2 AM, and at this point it was about 20 to 2. As you can imagine, this is probably where most of the ship headed to, so it was again very busy, but I think it was great of Ambassador to have the buffet and bars open at this time. This obviously isn't the best footage of the buffet, but they had a lot of options available, with the crew serving the food, which I love and is more hygienic. But I went with 2 of my favourite foods, nuggets and spaghetti bolognese. We didn't realise until looking at the notice board on the ship webpage later, but whilst we were embarking and eating, there was actually a compulsory muster station familiarisation happening in the theatre. I do feel like this is something we should have been informed at the check-in desk, as not many people are going to be looking at the webpage as soon as they get on the ship. There is also an additional safety video which you have to attend in person, and I'll show you that later in this video. After eating and chatting in the buffet, it was now 2:45 in the morning, so definitely time to head to the cabin. We're staying in an inside cabin which is located midship. I have a cabin tour uploaded for you already, so if you want to check that out after, I've left a link in the description below. Our cases hadn't arrived yet, and I could see on my Apple tag that they were still over where we had dropped them off. We couldn't really go to bed until our cases had arrived, but tried to rest our eyes until they turned up. There was a knock at the door at 3:30 for Mark's case, and another knock at 3:45 for mine. By the time we'd sorted everything out, it was time to go to sleep at 4:30 in the morning. Just over an hour later, I was woken up by a slight bit of ship movement, and so I looked at Vessel Finder for Ambience and realised we had just left Tilbury. We didn't actually know if Ambience would be sailing that night or morning or not, or when it would be leaving, to be honest, so I was a little bit freaked out that we'd not done any kind of safety drill. But we did watch the safety video in our cabin, so it was certainly time to go back to sleep. Today is a sea day, and as per the notice board, the safety drill would be at 11 AM. We slept in as late as possible, got ready and headed straight to our muster station. You can find your muster station letter on your cruise card and also on the back of your cabin door, along with directions on how to get there and what to do in the case of an emergency. This muster drill requires us to be there in person, so we scanned our cruise card to show that we had gone. The safety instructions are broadcast across the ship over the tannoy, and the crew will demonstrate how to put your life jacket on. Once the safety drill was done, we headed straight to Centre Court for some drinks and was suddenly interrupted. We're just trying to have a nice little drink in the atrium, and they're just testing the sound systems by playing this music. Oh, I'm just having a little wander of the ship to get away from that god-awful noise, and I can't even get away from it out here. And it's windy. What a nightmare. This just seemed to be the cruise of things happening out of the ordinary. Okay, so it's been a few hours since I spoke to you last. To be honest, I've just been trying to have a sleep because of all that music playing earlier. That was impossible to sleep, and obviously it was a very late night last night. But tonight is formal night. I'll show you my outfit in a minute. We're going in for dinner in the main dining room and see where the night takes us. So this is tonight's outfit. I thought I'd go for something purple because Ambassador's logo is purple. I thought it'd be a nice little touch. During gala night on board Ambience, you'll get the chance to wear something a bit more formal, like a sparkly dress or a suit and tie, and you'll be able to meet the captain. You can have your photo taken with him and join in the captain's reception in the Palladium, which is the theatre. In here you'll sit on sofas with plenty of legroom and tables for your drinks. And speaking of drinks, on gala night we received a complimentary drink, and you'll get waiter service and even some canapes, which is a lovely extra touch. During the captain's reception, the captain will introduce himself and also the senior officers.
I would like to propose a toast to all of you for a happy and memorable cruise. Cheers!
Cheers! So, captain's reception done. It's very wobbly. We're just going down to the Buckingham restaurant for dinner now. The Buckingham restaurant is our main dining room, and depending on your party size, you may be seated with other passengers. They don't have many tables for two, but it does say this online when you book. When you get on the ship, you could always head straight to the dining room and request a table for two if it's something that you really want, but this is not guaranteed. Here's a glimpse of the gala night menu, and the drinks menu isn't the same as the bar ones, but if your favourite drink isn't on here, you can always take one from the bar into the restaurant. My starter was the duck liver, which I tried for the first time and wasn't a fan of, the tomato soup, roast beef for main, and chocolate soufflé for dessert. The dinner was really good tonight, really good service, everything was done really quickly, the food was really good, but now we're going to head to the show in the Palladium, so let's go. Tonight's show was called Masquerade, and I would recommend getting a seat early as it does get busy. The dinner in the main dining room and the show times are set so that you either eat your dinner and then watch the show, or watch the show and then eat, so everyone gets a chance to see it, and not everyone is trying to watch the same show at the same time. The show was incredible, and I cannot say enough how talented the cast are. The singers had such strong voices, the dancers were all in sync, and the costumes were beautiful, and these were actually made out of recycled plastic. Ambassador don't allow for filming of their shows, so unfortunately I can't show you, but just take my word for it that it was great. That show was absolutely amazing. We're now going to just go and have a drink, but I'll catch up with you shortly in the cabin. A quick stop in the casino with no winnings before heading back to the cabin. A lot of cruise lines do a late night buffet, but it's good to know that Ambassador don't do this, obviously apart from last night. You could always bring your own snacks on. I do usually bring a packet of biscuits or something, but I forgot, so we did end up getting room service. We were a bit piggy and went for burger and chips, cheese toast and chips, and a margarita pizza. This gets added to our onboard spending account, which you can keep an eye on by logging onto the webpage. Something that is also added onto your account is gratuities. These are automatically added to your account and cost £7 per person per night, or for sailings of 16 nights or more, it's £6 per person per night. As you'll have seen, this has been a slightly crazy day and a bit on board Ambience Your experience and enjoyment really is affected by how a company deals with anything that is out of the ordinary. But overall, Ambassador dealt with everything very well, keeping their customers updated at all times, given the fact it's completely out of their control with the weather. Next time we'll be in Hamburg visiting some proper German Christmas markets, and later in the series we'll be spending the day in Amsterdam. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love if you could give this video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you in the next one. Bye!